Lights, camera, action. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're viewing from, I'm Laura Thompson with TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And you're tuned into the coffee break. And guess who just stopped by for a few minutes? They have a major community event coming up at the end of this month. And we're here to talk about it. So if you could first introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that good stuff.
Yes. Well, hello, I am Monique Bell Vernon, and I'm the president of the Alpha Tau Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Wow.
And I am Yolanda Jones. I'm the chairperson for Mahogany Brain Challenge.
Wow. So, for those that, don't know what Mahogany Brain Challenge is, can y'all explain and kind of tell us how that works and who it benefits?
Mahogany Brain Challenge benefits the community because we give students ages from grade levels, 3rd to 8th grade, the opportunity to have a competitive quiz bowl, but also learn about our African American history, both locally in the city of San Antonio, but across this nation as well, to know how did we contribute to America, how have African Americans contributed to the world. We also have a writing competition that enhances their writing skills and helps prepare them for the STAR test as well. So it's definitely something that gets the community talking. It's a program where we allow the community to come volunteer, help us put it together. The teams come from different churches as well as schools, as well as organizations as well. So it's something we've been doing for 38 years, and we take very much pride in that it talks to our children and it's keeping our youth involved in thinking about where we are today. It's making sure that our history is sustained.
Wow, and they're so smart,
That they are.
A lot of people look at our youth and think differently, and they have a different perception. But you all make a big difference in impacting their lives and giving them an opportunity to have a voice within your organization and beyond. And so, we appreciate that. So, Monique, how long have you participated or been involved in the Mahogany Brain Challenge?
So it's interesting for me growing up in San Antonio. I actually remember being in middle school when Mahogany Brain Challenge was hosted at my middle school back in the early 90s. So it was at Davis Middle School at the time. So that's another benefit. We have the opportunity to move the event around to various different schools. That also helps to highlight, those areas. We've been at Sam Houston High School before. We were at Holmes High School last year.
Wow.
This year, we're pleased to be able to go to Peace Middle School.
Okay.
So it gives us a chance to move around at the different schools in the city. And I love the fact that now I can be president of the chapter and see how Mahogany Brain Challenge has grown. We call it MBC for short. And so there are a lot of people who are now adults that have participated when they were children. Now their children are participating, and it's just a wonderful benefit to our community.
Wow. So y'all were participating before you even became AKAs. Yes. You just kind of grew into it, and you're a legacy to the AKAs. If I would have been an AKA, I would have been a legacy. But
your mom was always active and involved in our chapter. Yes.
She would have her shirt, and she said, "I'm going to the Mahogany Brain Challenge." And I said, "Can I go?" And she said, "You didn't sign up." So, what are some of the other benefits of the young people participating in the Mahogany Brain Challenge?
So I would say, one of the big benefits is not only are they learning about African American history on a larger scale, but they're also learning about African Americans in San Antonio. So our questions, they get a study guide, and they are able to go over those questions, and we always add local African American history as well.
Wow. So has it always been 3rd graders to 8th graders, or?
I want to say if I remember correctly, that it started off with middle school students, but then over the years we expanded that to go to a younger age, because we do know it's important to teach that history earlier to our
They're
students.
very zealous at that age, too.
Right. And like you said, they're very smart. They
They
learn.
And they want to
Early
showcase
on,
it. It's like,
yes.
y'all don't even know who Christopher Columbus is. No, he wasn't.
Well, you know, it also gives them the opportunity to learn beyond what you're normally taught. You know, you hear about Malcolm X, you hear about Martin Luther King, but there's so many other African Americans that you don't otherwise know about. So with our program, it definitely goes beyond that scope. So it gives them a deeper knowledge of knowing other African Americans that aren't as famous or that we don't talk about as much,
That's
or
awesome.
continue to carry on those legacies. So that's the important part. But also it goes along with the school curriculum. Many of the people that help write our program and come up with the questions are educators themselves.
Wow.
So even our writing competition is styled off, you know, using the STAR test, using that rubric, using the same way they ask questions. So it's an extra practice for them to be prepared. We have it in February. STAR test happens in April.
Wow.
So they've had a pre-run at, you know, hey, this is how it's graded. This is what the questions look like. This is how you think about answering those questions. So it's giving them that extra input, that extra help, extra tutoring, and just a different perspective of this is how this question is going to look when you take
Wow.
this test.
Wow. So you're the chair, and so what kind of work goes into putting that event together?
Let me tell you. There's a lot of behind the scenes work, but I will say that our chapter is absolutely phenomenal. The community comes in, volunteers, but it starts, even though this event is once a year, it's a year-round planning. We have to evaluate the questions. We go over the questions, and every year we add new questions. That way you can't say, oh, they had an advantage, they competed last year. Yes, but we have new questions, so we have to do that every year.
Wow.
We have to go through the questions and make sure they're in not the same order that they were the year before. So those are things that we have to do. We have to have our logistics teams. We have to have risk and management to make sure that we're in compliance with all of our rules as a chapter, but as well as our national rules and as well as the school that we're utilizing. So those district policies and things, we definitely have to make sure we have food for the kids. So we have to have someone taking care of that aspect. We have to have our team that helps put together the essay part and that actually reads the essays and grades them and have that rubric. So it's definitely like so many small components that we have to make sure we have every base covered. So we have within itself, we have over 13 like subcommittees besides the
That's
major
huge.
committees.
That's
So
huge.
each subcommittee has their part that they take on, and then we all come together and discuss it, and it's like, okay, let's do this, and what can we do different? And more than anything, we work to make sure that it's interesting and keeps bringing back the children and make them want to compete and be a part of it.
Wow. So kind of, I've never been, so I can't really envision how the competition goes. So what happens during the competition?
So what happens after you come in and register, because we need to be accounted for everyone that's there and get a little breakfast, is the coaches get together and they draw numbers to figure out the order that they're going in. And once that happens, we tell what teams are playing against who. So they're each set up in a classroom. So depending on how many, for example, if you have 8 teams, you're going to have 4 rooms. There's 2 teams in each room. So we have a person that announces what team is playing what team. They'll go into that room. We have buzzers. For me, it's just like being on Jeopardy.
Oh, wow. Really?
So we have a
That's
host
fun.
which asks the questions, you know. So they'll ask the kids the questions. They have the opportunity to hit their buzzer. Whoever hits first, they get the answer. Their answer is incorrect. The other team will then have a chance to answer. So whichever team actually wins, we have a scorekeeper. So they'll actually add up the points. We have a timekeeper that makes sure we stay on track on time with our time, as well as having a judge. In case there's a tie, we have someone in a room that knows what's going on so they can break the tie. And then at the end of that particular round, what will happen is we have our administrative team that will tally up everything. So So we'll go to a different room. They'll tally up, announce who won that round and who plays next. Every team plays at least twice. And sometimes depending on how many. I think the fun part is our final round. The final round is done on a stage and it's done in front of everyone that's there. And we bring in a community leader that is our host. That actually is the person that will ask the questions. We'll have a different scorekeeper. Everything's kind of like changed out, and so we'll go from there, and that's like the final round. And of course after that you announce like who came in first, who came in second. The kids get trophies that are made from our logo, which is the mahogany head that we use. So they get trophies for participating according to first, second, or third place. The writing competition, those winners are announced after the final round as well, and so they're presented with a trophy as well as a small token of appreciation for participating. We have overall judges. Sometimes maybe the coaches may have a question or a challenge, just like in football when they challenging the referees. We kind of have the same thing. So at that point, the chairperson and the co-chair will come in and make the final decision as to how that particular challenge goes.
Wow, so that's phenomenal, and it sounds like a lot of work.
But it's also fun.
It's definitely fun.
So you're teaching them to compete.
Right.
A fair competition. Yes. You're teaching them, they're learning knowledge about their culture. And they're having fun all at the same time.
And I also think that it teaches you how to present yourself in public. So, one of the things that I learned as a kid and is being involved in these types of activities, it teaches you not to be shy, to speak in front of others, to be confident in yourself. So I think the students are getting that as well.
And learn how to funnel through conflict without,
absolutely,
with poise and grace.
Right. And definitely advocate for yourself. Because if you studied that book, if your answer is right or wrong, and there could be a typo, and you might need to be like, but no, I'm sorry, the correct answer should be this, because when you think about it, we're human and we could accidentally make a mistake as well. So it gives them the opportunity to respectfully advocate for themselves.
And it teaches teamwork, because you can know all of the answers, but if your entire team doesn't work together,
it's a team.
Yes, you compete as a team.
Okay. Wow. So that's pretty phenomenal. I wish I had been around or knew about it when I was coming up, because I didn't like history because there were no African Americans in the books, and I would get in trouble because I would ask, "Oh, were we just slaves? Is that all we did?" And so I wish, but now as I've gotten older and really focused on African American stories, I love it. And so hopefully the kids will get that and more out of what they do. And so how many kids are participating, do y'all know?
So far, we have 7 teams that are registered so far.
Wow,
there's still time.
There's still time. So on the team depends. The max is 5 per team, but you can have 3 to 5 people on the team. It depends on the team. But on average, we have about 40 students to compete a year.
Okay.
A lot of times you need an alternate in case something happens. The teams decide how they study, which I think is very neat, because being there, you have the opportunity to hear conversations and you learn how each team has a different way of strategizing and how they actually study the study guide.
Wow.
There are some teams where, because we have categories, so there are some teams where they have a player that only studies that particular category. So when that question comes up, that's the person that's supposed to answer.
Wow, that's going to be fun.
Then you don't have backup if they forgot the answer or whatever. So I think for me, I love to see the minds of young people strategizing and figuring out how are we going to work together to make this work for us. And maybe they came this year and they didn't win, but they learned something to take from that to come back the next year and apply it. And more than likely they may just be the winner.
Right.
But it definitely teaches them on strategizing and being analytical, because they're analyzing what's going on and they're watching. So not only are they learning from their teammates and their teams, but they're looking at the other teams too, and watching and learning and figuring out, well, maybe they have a better way of studying, so maybe we should use that next time. So I think
so let's not tell all of it, right? So we're gonna keep y'all's curiosity going up, but tell us how, you said there's some more slots available, so tell us how they can register to participate.
To register to participate, you can hit up our website. That's the easiest way, is if you go to Alpha Chi Omega website, or you can go to our Facebook page, Alpha Chi Omega, and just put in there that you're interested in signing up a team for NBC, and we will send you the direct link. That's pretty much the easiest way to find us, is by social media. And we do have a website.
And that site is www.atoaka.net. And the flyer is under public events. So there's contact information there. So
wow, so I'm super excited. I'm going to study my history so I can win a prize, or at least a ribbon. So,
or you can come and be a volunteer.
Honorable mention, right? Yeah, I would love that. So again, tell them if you want to volunteer or if you're interested in participating.
Right, if you're interested in volunteering, you can also find that information on our social media sites. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and again, atoaka.net under public events. There is an email address there where you can reach out to our chairman, Yolanda Jones, and she'll be happy to get in touch with you with volunteer opportunities.
All right. Well, this has been a phenomenal interview with some amazing and incomparable women. So thank you for joining us. You've been tuned in to The Coffee Break on TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And thank you so much, ladies, for stopping by and having coffee. Sorry I ran out of time.
Thank you for the invite.
All right.